and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of... Kind of feel like I got cut off there a little bit by the introduction. Okay, all right, just move it. Let's keep it going, moving right along. I'm your host, Trisha O'Donnellson, and this, of course, is the video series where I, an American police officer, hi friends, bring you, the viewer, along for a virtual ride-along as a police officer to see what I do on a day-to-day basis. Fantastic, we got the neighbors doing yard work. Great, keep it up, no big deal, just trying to make YouTube video, it's okay. So we're gonna change the format slightly from what we've done before, and we're gonna start today with an update on my police car. That's right, folks, so many people ask about it. We might as well start these episodes with an update to let you know whether it's up and it's in service or it's down and it's broken. Anybody want to take a wild guess for this week? Yeah, it's broken. If you watched the last couple videos on our channel, you know the update on that. 2 times in 1 week in the shops. Got it back after the light bar broke. Very next day, gas pedal decided to stop working. Who needs a gas pedal? So this is the car that I'm in right now, completely unmarked, old former like gang task force type car. So it's like a patrol car inside, except that it doesn't have a cage and no markings on the outside. Make sure to tune in next week for an update on the status of the Impala. Suck.
I can't find my wallet anywhere.
It's in the glove box of the van. You left it there overnight. I put it in the glove box. Now let's go over to the Turd Blossom who has the weather.
The sky is blue!
Outstanding. Thank you, Michael. For the rest of the video, we're going to get into a few of the comments you guys left on some of the last videos. That is, of course, one of our favorite parts of these is interacting with you guys. Let's take a look at the first comment. Jeremy Lucas. This was a week ago. This was on the live version of Benny on the Beat that we did last time. A little bit different, but we had to do that because of time constraints. He said, is every type of siren used for specific things, or do you just use the ones that you find are cool? Well, no, pretty much I use the ones that I find are cool. That's probably more accurate. But Jeremy, the different siren tones, they're not for specific things. The main point when we're going code lights and sirens somewhere is that you cycle the siren to something new. It's just the change in pitch. I mean, there's probably some arguments out there for why certain ones are better than others, but I think the general idea is you just change it when you go through stop signs and intersections and stuff. Oh, and Jeremy actually had a follow-on comment right after that. He said, I really like how you make a balance in your life between work, family, etc. Keep doing what you're doing. Your videos are very fun and relaxing. Relaxing. That's what I'm talking about. Lots of love from Lebanon? Lebanon? Jeremy, I think that's the first comment I've ever identified, at least, where someone's been from Lebanon. That's freaking awesome, man. Thanks for leaving the comment and thanks for representing Lebanon. You guys are great. I love it. Alan B, what does your superiors, I don't know if YER was on purpose, but I dig it. What do your superiors think of your being on here? Sorry, spelling. Oh, okay, you didn't mean to. Alan, I like the way you spell. Just keep doing it. My superiors are actually really supportive of this. He's talking about my, administrators and my bosses at work about being on YouTube and social media in general. And I did have a meeting with them when we started all of this. They were really, really cool about it. There were, guidelines like make sure you don't do this, this, or this, which we weren't doing anyway. But they said in general, it's fantastic that, you're sharing this perspective. It's what our career and our profession needs. Hey, it's Maccabee Luke. This guy has been here on our channel for a long time, a hardcore veteran. Does your SWAT team have an armored vehicle or does it share an armored vehicle with another department? Mac, I believe we have our own. Looks like there's actually a few follow-up questions or comments to this one. Big Ram, if they have their own, thank goodness he doesn't drive. He might end up destroying the SWAT truck too. Huh. Just kidding. Well, if it's an Impala armored truck, I don't know if they make those. No, an Impala's just a car. You know what? If it came from the same factory as those cars, then it's very possible. Okay, there's even another comment after this one. Alex Royal, that is so not true. I am disliking that comment. He would definitely not wreck it. Alex got my back, even though it was obviously a joke he was making, but guys, Alex got my back. That's what's up. Deborah Trop. I'm saying your last name wrong. No question about it. Deborah, this is probably a silly question, but I've often wondered if the police pull cars over in daylight for having one headlight, and do people receive tickets for this? I love your vlogs and your sweet family. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Very, very much. I appreciate that. No, it's not a silly question. Cars get pulled over at night for equipment violations if they have a headlight out or a taillight out, but can you be stopped for that during the day? Well, I can only speak from my state in Utah. I don't know for sure in other states, but I'd imagine it's pretty similar. The answer is yes, you can be pulled over for that. The laws regarding equipment are simply that there are functioning equipment on the car. It doesn't matter if it's day or night. There's a different law at night with lights in that you have to have them on. But the laws regarding your equipment being operational are for any time of day. Hope that makes sense. As far as getting tickets, most people are not going to give you a ticket for that. If anything, it might be what we call a fix-it ticket. Personally, not a big fan of those. I like just telling people, hey, it needs to be fixed, or you could continue to get pulled over for it, so just go get it done. I like to let people just be responsible, and if they don't want to do it, they can deal with continuing to get pulled over. Good question, Deborah. Not silly at all. Good question. Drew, hey FuzzFam, I have a quick question if you have the time to answer. When there is a storm, how bad does it have to be for first responders like police to get off the street and wait it out? Drew, we are not firefighters here, okay? Police, all right? The firefighters are already asleep, snuggling with each other in their firehouses when it's snowing. Police will be out on the roads clearing accidents, regardless of how much snow there is. It does bring up the point. I drive, the great Chevy Impala, the best police car ever to exist in history. I can't imagine how much snow it would take to actually make that thing completely inoperable. It's probably not very much, but let's just say this. I live in Utah. I live in the Rocky Mountains where we get pretty bad winters. I've never been to the point where we've had to go to the police station and say, see you guys in the morning, storm's bad enough. We'll go out there and do what's necessary. Commandeer a snowmobile or a snowcat. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or sneak over to the fire department and take off in their truck and go do some donuts in the fire truck. That's what I'm talking about.
That's not funny at all.
Hidden. Where are you, Fuzzy? I don't know how to answer that. For the love, seriously, how long does it take you to trim your grass? Come on, these are not big, we don't have that big a property. But we love getting your guys' comments, and we do review all of those. I can't get to all of them to respond to them, but some of them we'll try to answer in these videos. So leave a question. Tune in next week or whenever we have the next patrol vlog and see if we can talk about your question. Okay, you guys know that have watched our patrol vlogs before, especially if you've been here from the beginning. We've had some outstanding sponsors on the video, right? Air, we've had Musculi, the word Musculi. We've been sponsored by Dad Bod, Pineapple. Pineapple was one of them. I am excited to announce that this video, for the first time ever, is actually sponsored by a real company. It's a real sponsor. This video is proudly sponsored by Galls.com. A lot of you have probably heard of Galls before. I don't know that they would use this term themselves, but I'm just going to call them the Amazon of first responder equipment. The website is super easy to use. You can find anything. You can even search by profession. Kind of makes me wonder, what do you have for fire and rescue? Where are the Xbox controllers on here?
That's not funny at all.
Galls is definitely the way to go if you need to buy any equipment to get ready for the police academy. If you're already in the field, these are the guys. We also have a promotion code. If you buy anything on here, you can get 15% off of anything that you purchase if you use the code FuzzFam. So check them out. Use our code if you want to buy anything. Also, they've got social media, including Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to make any official announcement on it, but if you go follow them on Facebook, you just might see a commercial or a product demonstration review from yours truly. We're starting to do some work with them, and you're going to see some content and some material from us on their social media feeds. So these guys are great. We appreciate them sponsoring our video. All right, so on to the actual calls that we had this week. First call I wanted to tell you guys about was another traffic accident. This was nothing special. A couple of cars bumped into each other. Nobody hurt really bad. There was a couple of minor injuries, and I was sent as the assisting officer on this one. I wasn't the one taking the initial report. We had a traffic car, somebody out there that is assigned specifically to do traffic accidents. So when you get sent as a backing officer on a traffic accident, your responsibilities are usually going to be traffic flow, to make sure everybody can get around the accident safely, traffic control type stuff, calling for tow trucks when they get there, making sure that traffic control is changed or whatever so the tow trucks can pick up the cars, possibly collecting witness statements, just doing anything you can to take the burden off the guy doing the report, because traffic accident reports are a little bit bigger. They're no joke. Plus, it's their job to figure out what happened and possibly issue a citation to the driver at fault. So that's what I did on this one. I got there and I set up some cones to keep traffic flowing past the scene of the accident, and also just to make a delineation to keep us safe from the crazy drivers that are out there trying to kill us. I'm just kidding. There's not drivers actually trying to kill us, but it sure seems like it sometimes, as you'll see in a second. So this is kind of what it looked like. I set up the cones right outside the accident scene and was just keeping an eye on traffic. All of a sudden, I hear this loud noise, like somebody crashed into something, but not quite like a car crash. I turn around and see this white SUV plowing through my cones, like directly through. They hit one, then the next, then the next, then the next. They took them all out. At that particular moment, you could say I became a little bit vexed because I wasn't standing too far from where these cones were. And I mean, if you can't see the bright neon reflected cones, how are you gonna see police officers and victims and tow truck drivers? I mean, I don't know where they were looking or what they were doing, but obviously not paying attention to what they were doing. Everybody likes to rubberneck and look to see what happened, but you cannot do that at the expense of not paying attention to where you're going and what you're doing. So I jumped in my car with one thing on my mind: stopping the person that just did this and chewing him out. So I took off that direction, and I knew it was a white SUV. And before I had left, I had seen that they had actually pulled off down the road, you know, a ways down the road. Probably trying to figure out what to do with my cone, which was now lodged underneath their car. By the time I got around the accident scene, and at this time I think there was actually a tow truck there, and looked down the road, there was like 4 white SUVs just getting to the next traffic light. Basically, there was no way of telling which one it was. So they got out and apparently got the cone out from underneath the car and then hurried and took off. So well played, good citizen. Well played. Thank you for at least not hitting me and dragging me underneath your car. At least it was just my cone, which, by the way, before was clean, nice, and spotless, and now wrecked. It's got marks all over it. It was beautiful and perfect before, and now it looks terrible. Thanks a lot. Moving on. Then we got sent to the Detox Center. I've talked about this in other videos, other calls where we've taken people to our Detox Center, which is a fantastic tool as an alternative to taking people to jail, where they need the room for more serious offenses. But we're dealing with people that we can't just leave out there because they're so drunk they could hurt themselves or somebody else. And this was a call to the Detox Center for a person that had just been dropped off by another officer. Come to find out, it was actually somebody from another agency who was now having a psychotic breakdown. They said she had barricaded herself in the bathroom. So my partner and I, a backup officer, went over there and we went to the bathroom door. Turns out she wasn't really barricaded. She was just laying on the floor, pretending like she was swimming and moaning and crying about something. I mean, again, you got to remember, she's heavily impaired, and they said it wasn't by alcohol. This was all by meth, which is even better. So fortunately, we were able to identify ourselves and just immediately kind of take a command presence, told her, get up off the ground right now, get up and put your hands on the wall. We got her in handcuffs, escorted her out to our car, got her secured in our car without, any further incident or problem. So at this point, where they've been brought to a detox center, but they've pretty much outstayed their welcome because of their behavior, you probably guessed it, now the only alternative is they go to jail. We tried to help them out, or whoever the officer was that dropped them off, which, by the way, they were nowhere to be seen. Do you think they came back to clean up their own mess? Yeah, no. If they're like most cops that I know, they heard that on the radio and switched to another channel and said, whoa, glad I got her dropped off. So it is what it is. We got her loaded up and taken to jail, got her booked in, and wish her the best of luck. I don't know whatever happened to her, but we gave her a better place to stay for the night. Oh, this one was kind of interesting. So we got a call from a guy that had tracked his son's stolen car via his son's cell phone that was left inside the car. So his son had his car stolen, his phone was still in the car. They did the GPS search or whatever, found out where it was. They actually drove over to the area, went around an apartment building, and saw the guy driving the car. They got behind him, I guess, trying to like tail him or something. And if you're a citizen that doesn't have training in tailing people, or you're not like a Jason Bourne aficionado or whatever, probably not going to be very good at tailing someone. And sure enough, this guy picked up on it, took off, went through an apartment parking lot or something, ditched him for a minute, and they ended up finding the car parked behind a building, and the guy was gone. But they had seen him, so they had a good kind of description of what he was wearing and what he looked like. So we got into the area, we met the complainant and checked the car, confirmed that it was stolen, and we knew the guy couldn't be very far because he had ditched on foot. So just as we were getting ready to search the area for him, because they had given us a description of him, they had the brilliant idea on their own. I wish I would have thought to tell them to do this, but they thought of it on their own, to check the GPS for an update to see if by chance the phone was still in the car or if it had moved. Sure enough, brilliant criminal took the phone with them.
Brilliant.
So they did another GPS ping, and sure enough, it pinged to a fast food restaurant that was just down the road. So another officer and myself went down to the restaurant, armed with the description they'd given us of the guy. We walked in, and there was a guy sitting in there that 100% right off the bat we knew was going to be the guy. He wasn't wearing the same shirt as they had described, but he matched the description perfectly. Pretty common that they'll try to change their clothes, take off a shirt, put on a different one. that's not uncommon. But you can't really change your face or your hairstyle that quick, especially when you've got like flaming red hair, which I think this guy did. I thought for sure he was gonna run, but we got him out of his seat, got him in handcuffs without incident and in the back of a police car, and sure enough, he ended up being the suspect. The victims came over and positively identified him. Not to mention, he had the stolen phone on his person and the key to the car, which is always nice. Okay, here's one you guys should enjoy. Those of you guys that are graveyard officers, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit just because this was a graveyard officer that did this. Really has nothing to do with graveyard officers in general, it's just this particular officer, I guess. There were a couple of graveyard cars that went over to a stabbing call. They got there and found out that this woman had been stabbed by car keys. So the officer gets on the radio and says to dispatch, please send medical. Our victim here has been stabbed with car keys. Okay, so one of dispatch's jobs when they get medical information or request to send medical is to get some details about what the injuries are so they can pass that on to the medical people, right? So the dispatcher comes back and says, copy, where is she stabbed at? Now to me that seems like a pretty clear, obvious question as to what she's asking, right? Graveyard officer cues up and says, she was stabbed at the location where I'm at. I think I actually lost it at that point right there. Like, is he serious? Did he really not understand what she was asking? So to the dispatcher's credit, she remained professional. She didn't laugh or you know, make him feel bad or anything. She just came back on and said, where on her body is she stabbed? Where is the stab wound? And sure enough, there was silence on the radio for just a moment because you know he was going, oh yeah, that makes sense. So he told her like on the arm or something like that. So it wasn't a big deal. It was just one of those. It was just one of those things where, you know, I don't know. I've done it before. I can't remember like what the circumstances were, but something you completely like messed up or misunderstood what someone was asking and just kind of make yourself look like an idiot on the radio. So at the expense of the officer involved, it's funny for everybody else. Graveyards. If it was a day shift car, they would have got there and cleared it, no report. Ha! Oh. Okay, yeah, I was scrolling through my phone to remind me of some of these calls, and what do you know? I scroll across this picture. Awesome reminder of the violation in which my wife and Officer Daniel snuck in and painted my freaking toenails in the middle of the night. If you guys haven't seen that video yet about when Officer Daniels came and slept over at my house, it's a must-see. You need to watch it. I'll throw a link, you know, up here at the top of the screen. Go check it out. All right, guys, that's about all the time I've got today to talk about calls. We've got some others. I will get them into the next episode of Benny on the Beat. Yeah, so my camera apparently froze like this. The rest of my outro, everything else I did is stuck and recorded like this. It's totally broken. Guess it's a good thing we're saving up and just about to buy a new camera. Anyway, you know what? I can't take this. Let's cover up that face. It's just creepy. Thanks everybody for watching. If you got anything out of the video or enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like, and thank you for being subscribed to the channel. That stuff helps new people find our content, so thank you. This has been a special report by Trisha Donaldson. I don't remember the name. All right, everybody have a great week.
Let's level up, pedal to the metal when I play the cut. Doing double time like double dutch. Stay a dime a dozen, so I double up. These late nights finna pay off. Gonna take flight, no days off. My blood pumping, my blade sharp. Young Savon, tryna save all.